All right. Obviously, that was a tough night, tough result. I first want to credit Shane and South Carolina. I thought they obviously were the better team, the more physical team tonight. That was, a three-phase ass kicking, and credit to them, and they earned it. On our end, it's easy to be disappointed right now, and obviously I'm frustrated with coming up short in the game. Frustrated also with the feeling that we didn't represent ourselves the way that we wanted to or we want to, play into an identity. And that's probably the part of it that hurts the most for me. And that's, again, that's a good defense we played against, but, the inability to get things going offensively, and at times just feeling like, we weren't not only not covering people up, but just guys cut loose in the backfield and just killing the momentum and drives. That's not who we are. Defensively, I felt like we battled, and that's a physical running team. But, man, when we started the second half and we got some momentum early, and then when we missed the sack and they complete the chunk, and then they got the long touchdown run there, it felt like we withdrew a little bit from the game, and that's frustrating to me, and it's frustrating for our team too. But it's too late to do anything about it now, So this is going to be painful to us. I think we've been clear on what our expectations are, week in, week out, and we need it to be painful. We need to learn and grow from it, but. We're going to turn the page on this just like we turned the page on the wins. It's one game. We know we're capable of playing poorly. We played poorly against an SEC opponent, and we got what we deserved tonight. But, it's important that we stay together, and I think we go deeper in the brotherhood and the love, the family that we've created here, and we use the bye week to try to get rested and recovered to have a great push to the end of the season. And I got a lot of affection for this team, and I got a locker room of guys that are disappointed and upset, and their head coach is right alongside them. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do you know if the Diego injury is serious, or how's he doing?
I don't have an update. I'll have one, obviously, this week. He's right now being seen, and I'm not sure what's going on, so I don't want to comment on that.
Clark, you talked a little bit this week about how you were practicing with this team in the stretch of 6 straight games. Any part of you feel like you just ran out of gas a bit tonight?
I just don't believe that we're not capable of playing better and putting ourselves in position to be competitive in that game. I mean, I know I've got a team that has pushed really hard through the middle six, and obviously we worked hard this week to try to give them some space to recover, but also not to shortchange the work. Particularly with our defense. Well, I mean, in all three phases. I mean, that's a physical, tough South Carolina team that exposed us when we weren't in the right positions tonight. So I don't know that we ran out of gas. Again, my belief is that when we play at our highest level and that we're capable of that tonight, that we can represent ourselves in a better way and play a competitive game. But certainly, I'm looking forward to the bye week to try to get rested and recovered.
As a defensive guy, how much do the missed tackles kind of stick in your craws? What helps contribute to what South Carolina was able to do offensively?
Yeah, I mean it's frustrating, and I want to be clear that these were things we knew that this team was capable of. I mean, you watch them on film and you see the tough runs and you see them running through contact, and it's shown up over and over throughout the season. So I want to credit them for that, but I felt like we had a plan to neutralize some of those runs, and I felt like at times we had guys in the right position and just not finishing. And then, the runs that just extend, there was a couple times where I felt like we had the run bottled up, and, they're able to push the pile. They fought for some hard yards tonight. And you can't help but feel personally about that a little bit. That's where I struggle, is just we want to be the team that's winning those hard yards. And I thought on the edges we did at times. I thought on the edges we were able to get knocked back and get TFLs, but they really hurt us through the middle of the defense. And we talk about building the run wall inside out and outside in. There are times, particularly on the long run, the two long runs across the 50, that we're in split safety boxes, and some of that's about vertical passing game, and not that we don't have a player to down the ball, but I can do a better job too. And so I always say that the ownership starts with me, but we certainly want to represent ourselves better on defense, and disappointed with how we played.
Clark, I don't know how much you knew about the lawsuit with Diego, the thing from yesterday, but less than ideal timing for that to come out the night before a game.
Gentry, I think that is probably would be a nice excuse for me to throw out there. I don't think that had any impact on us. I mean, I really don't. I think this is about a team that, when we're playing to our identity and we're playing to our level, we can play with anyone in the country. And when we show up and we don't play to our identity consistently over 4 quarters, we can get beat by anyone. And this was a league opponent that took it to us. And I don't want to find an easy way out of that. I want to own it, and I want to focus on the things that we control, and find ways to get better.
Had he spoken with you about, did you know that was going to be coming out?
I was aware of it. Yeah, I was aware of it. Again, I can't comment on it beyond just saying that obviously I'm always going to support our players, and I want for Diego to play as long as he can possibly play. I mean, I have such a affection for him and belief in him and appreciation for him. But it's a legal matter and in the courts now, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Clark, what do you attribute the offensive struggles to tonight?
Well, I mean, again, I think like last week, that's a really good defensive front, and we tried to design ways to neutralize their edges in particular. But, I think the edges get a lot of attention. I was impressed with them through the middle of their defense. They were physical, tough. They collapsed space quickly. I think in the second half we found some space on the perimeter, and maybe had we gotten to that a little sooner, we could have created a little more back and forth in the first half. It just felt like we were on our heels. So, again, part of it's a credit to them. Part of it is how do we reimagine the design there to get the ball into some space, and part of it's going to be, the identity of our offense and how we play snap in, snap out. And I think the combination of those things created the distance they needed to win the game.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks.